the continuation of this last video. So let us see what is an FD value is. FD is like a feasible distance. It is the total distance from my source to the destination. And when the FD value is calculated and the least FD value is selected as the best to reach the destination, EHRP is going to calculate the least FD value. So you can ask me, what is this FD value? This FD value is calculated based on the bandwidth, delay, reliability, load, and MTU. So we have some mathematical calculations we have that the EHRP uses to choose as the best path by default. I think I have not given there. 1 minute. Yeah. EHRP uses this calculation metric 256 into K1 10 power 7 bandwidth plus there is a K2 called bandwidth 10 power 7 minimum bandwidth and by load. So there is some bandwidth, there is a bandwidth and there is a load, there is a delay, and also we have like reliability. In the K values, by default, K1 and K3, such as delay, are set to be as 1, and bandwidth and the delay and the reliability are set to be 0. So it will not take into consideration of the second and third. It takes only the bandwidth and the delay to select the best path to reach the destination. This calculation, you should have an idea. That's it. Oh, what happened to this? Let's suppose you can see, yeah. Okay, not into this crop, no. Maybe if I'm going for draw, let me take this. EHRP does not take into consideration of reliability, does not take into consideration of load. It takes off bandwidth, the first one, and the delay by default. That's why in some people they say, even if you hear, because these K values, like K1 are set to be and K0 are also set to be. When K0s are there, it is not going to take into consideration of those reliability, load, and MTU actually. It takes only the bandwidth and the delay. So with the calculation of that metric calculation, it generates automatically the FD value. Between from your router 1 to router 2 also it will calculate some value. So FD value is it is what? It is a total distance from my source to destination. What is AD value? It is advertised distance. It is a distance from my neighbor to the destination. I want to see only from router 1 to router 3. I have one route to reach to router 3 actually. But for every network, it will calculate this. For every LAN network, it will calculate the FD value and the AD value within how many seconds? Within some less than few seconds, in the milliseconds actually, it will calculate EHRP. It's going to select the best path. AD value, it is an advertised distance. It is a distance from my neighbor to the destination. Coming to the first part, the advertised distance taking from my router 1. Sorry, from router 2 to here on the first path, this is 1000. It is 1000. And the second one, the neighbor is router 4 to router 3, 1500 and 1500. It is 3000. From here, 2000, 2000, 2000, it is 6000. The advertised distance, it is a distance from my neighbor. Neighbor is router 2 to destination. Neighbor is router 4. Here 1500, 1500, 3000. From here 2000, 2000, 2000, 6000 actually. The least FD value is called as successor route. It is called as SU successor route. And the next FD value, the least FD value, is called as feasible successor route. Feasible, like for backup. So the first one is successor, and the next is feasible successor, backup. And both paths will be maintained by my EHRP in the EHRP topology table. So we have some show commands like show IP EHRP topology. Show IP EHRP topology to weave all the successor and the feasible successor for every path. You can, it is going to be maintained in the topology table. What are my neighbors are there in the router 1? I want to verify. I use a command show IP EHRP neighbors. It is going to display me the neighbors actually. There is another command like can show IP EHRP traffic. What is the traffic? The EHRP packets. How many hellos I send and receive? How many updates are done? How many queries are done? I want to know it. I can use a command show IP EHRP traffic. So these are the three database tables are maintained by EHRP. Comparing with RIP and in the EHRP, see here. When you are configuring the command, remember the router RIP, you are not defining the autonomous system. But when the EHRP, you are giving router EHRP 1. So what is the one? It is a autonomous system. EHRP is going to advertise the routes within the in the same autonomous system. And the maximum hops that are going to be selected, I mean the maximum hops that are being supported is 255. And whenever any neighbor, he advertises the route and the particular EHRP routes, by default, you will be having the administrative distance. You will be having the administrative distance called AD value. The administrative distance will be by default is 90. And also the EHRP, sometimes you may have an external routes. The external routes, the administrative distance will be with 170. Sir, what is this 170, sir? In the last class, you learn about the RIP. Say, for example, router 2 is connected with some another routers again. See the red colors only. And the particular serials that you are connected, you configured with RIP. Remove the first one, not required. The red one, see the red color only. They are being configured with RIP. So router 2 knows the particular 2 serial, you advertise them EHRP, and these red routers, you configure them with RIP. So this router 2, it has to redistribute the EHRP into RIP, RIP into EHRP. So there should be a redistribution should be done by the router 2. When he redistributed the routes, the redistributed routes are the routes that are originated from different routing protocol. When he advertises to router 1 and router 3, he is going to advertise with an administrative distance of 170 by default. EHRP routes, you will have 90, and the external routes by default will have 170. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. EHRP applies on the administrative distance 90, and the external routes by default 170. And EHRP, the maximum hops that are going to set, the maximum hops supported is 255, set to be 100. It is assigned in every router by default, 100 by default.
Sir?
But you can change. Assign.
Sir, when you say external route by default, it will be 170. That 170 will be same for any routing protocol or only for RIP?
Any routing protocol. For example, instead of RIP, sometimes you may use OSPF, or maybe you may use a static route, or you may use a default route. Now, even for the static and the default also, we have to redistribute them into the EHRP, and EHRP must be redistributed into the routing protocol that whatever they are using.
Okay, sir.
So any routing protocol which is not part of the EHRP domain will have the administrative distance with 170. Yes, that's why they say external. Why say they external? Because EHRP is separate domain, separate language to communicate with each other. The OSPF they have their own separate language to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
EHRP they have their own metric calculations. OSPF they have their own metric calculations. Now, this is a basic class of the EHRP. Now I'm going for a little more advanced, and we need to understand them too, such as EHRP features. If someone asks you what is EHRP, what EHRP features we have, in the next we need to know, and most feature is like 1-1 lab in CCNP and CCIE, but we should know them as theoretically. By default, EHRP is it is a combines best the distance vector and the link state routing protocol. Mostly we say EHRP is a hybrid routing protocol, and it is an enhanced interior gateway routing protocol. It's taken most of the characteristics of the distance vector. EHRP is the only one routing protocol always will maintain the backup route. That's why we say it is in a dual deficiency algorithm. It is used to select the best path to reach the destination. No other routing protocol will maintain the backup path. This is very, very important one. EHRP maintains backup routes in its topology table. The successor route and the feasible successor route, both routes it will be maintained. If one successor route fails, within the next fraction of a second, the feasible successor route will be selected as the best to reach the destination. Now, EHRP by default, it is a 100% loopless routing protocol. EHRP will come for rapid convergence, I think missed. EHRP is an 100% loopless routing protocol. I am saying by default in EHRP, when you are configuring, by default there is a split origin. By default, it is enabled on the protocol. It is enabled. When you are configuring like an RIP, RIP version 1 I am speaking, not on the RIP version 2, because RIP version 2 later it is modified. Like your Windows XP, for example, if you know Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2, Service Pack 3, some new updates are there. Like in the same year, RIP version 1, when you have like a RIP version 1, when you advertised, I have a router 1, okay. I have a router 2. And consider we have 192.1.1.0 here, 192.1.2.0 here. A router 2, once you configure it, router 2 will advertise his complete routing table information to router 1. Router 1 also will advertise its complete information to router 2. And what the router 1, what the route that is received from router 2 will advertise him back again. And it will be advertising again for every 30 seconds. Because it has to advertise its full routing table information to router 2. And router 2 also it has to advertise its full routing table information to router 1. Consider you don't have any new updates. Unnecessarily is going to re-advertise. So it is using some memory bandwidth, browser utilization, and memory utilization and everything on the router. So you don't require this type of behavior in the route. We don't have that particular behavior in EHRP. And when a route that is received on the same interface, if it is advertising, sometimes that cause a loop in big network. If you have a 2-3 routers, no problem. Make some 15 to 20 routers, you make a redundancy connections, configure the RIP version 1 and make one network down. To make a routing table again to alter, it will take minimum 240 seconds again. Means there will be a loop can cause in RIP version 1, but no loops will be there in AHRP and OSPF. AHRP and OSPF, they are the loopless routing protocol. No loops will be there. Load balancing across equal cost and unequal cost load balancing. Now, what do you mean by the equal cost and unequal cost? By default, all the dynamic routing protocols will support equal cost load balancing. I am taking with the example of only one router. Concentrate here. This is my router 1. It's connecting with a WAN link of 1 and connecting WAN link of 2. And I have a same bandwidth. One is 1 giga and another one is also 1 giga, 1 GB, 1 GB. So we will get like a same cost, same FD values will be getting. So when you reach to the destination, for example, if we have a 2 links, every routing protocol such as EHRP or OSPF and even the RIP version 2, they do the equal cost load balancing. When your cost is same, equally when the cost is same, when a router wants to send the data, one packet will send via first path, second path again, first path and second path. It will do equal cost load balancing. Unequal cost load balancing is supported only by the AHRP. What do you mean by unequal cost? One path you connect with 1 giga, 1 GB. Another path, it is connected with 512 MB. Half of that, it is 512 MB. 1 GB is best or 512 MB is best? Teacher, I'm asking a question. 512 MB is good or 1 GB is good? Nobody is speaking today. 1 GB is good because it has higher bandwidth of sending data. By default, AHRP also will select the best path based on the higher bandwidth. Bandwidth only. Bandwidth is the main criteria to select the best path for the AHRP. But my manager says, even we have one more path to be connected. It has a 512 MB. Why don't we use? Let us use both paths for forwarding the data. But we have unequal costs. They are not the equal cost by default. So AHRP is the only one sole protocol will support unequal cost load balancing. So unequal cost load balancing, whenever you have a unequal costs are there to reach the destination, still if you want to reach, yes, we can. So you have to do a like unequal cost load balancing must be configured manually by the administrator. Equal cost load balancing, when the costs are the same, protocol itself you will understand, I have the same cost, same paths I will use. For example, you want to go from Hyderabad to Bangalore. You have 2 flights are there. 2 flights are same charge. You can use both. You can use any one of them, you can go. For example, don't take same as here. No. 2 are there. Sometimes you can go by that. Another next time this, another that, and next again. Now later again you want to go by flight. One flight is very high, another one is half of that cost. But you want to go both. Yeah. So when you are WAN bandwidth, when you have like a unequal costs are there, you are going to configure a command called as variance. Variance by default. Okay. You remember actually I removed this. We have 2 paths are there. There is a path 1 and there is a path 2 and there is a path 3. See the topology. And the first path, the FD value is 2000. And the second path, the FD value is, tell me, FD, feasible distance. It's a total distance from my source to destination, 1000 plus
4000.
Yeah, it is 4000. And the next one, 8000.
8000.
So I am saying we have a command called as variance. Router AHRP1, you use a command variance. You use the command 2 as well, or 3 or 4 you give. So what is this variance? Variance by default, it is a multiplier. It is a multiplier of successor FD value. Specifically in the CCNP level, you'll remember this, and we have a labs on this. Variance is it is a multiplier of successor FD value. So in command, I give the variance to, for example, in the router, I define variance to. When you define variance to, it is going to multiply this 2000 into 2 by default, and you get 4000. Now it will calculate again the the FD value. First one is 4000, next is 4000 again. Two are same FD value. Then it will do this both path for forwarding the data. Means from router 1, if I want to send the data to router 3, it sends via router 1 and sends via router 2. I want to use these three paths. The least one is 8000. So how much makes 2000 to be multiplied with 8? I need to give 4. 2 4s are 8. So you get like, it should be, the FD value can be equal or should be greater than the existing FD values. So if I give 4000, 2 multiply 4, you get 8000. Then it will calculate all FD value in the routing table. It can be equal or it must be greater than, actually. It should not be lesser than that. Then at that time, it will use three paths for sending the data. That is called unequal cost load balancing. Unequal cost load balancing. First one is equal cost, yeah, okay. Another one is unequal cost. Understood the logic? Yes. And also when you are configuring AHRP, AHRP is going to calculate, there is a manual summarization at any point. For example, router 1, say we have like some 50 branches are there. For example, router 2 has like so many routes are there. Consider maybe 50 are there. Router 2 is going to advertise these 50 routes to router 1 as well as router 3. So to maintain 50 routes in router 1, it's a very big deal. Consider maybe router 4, router 6, router 3, they are advertising 50, 50, 50. 150 routes has to be maintained by router 1. But router 2, router 4, router 6, what they can do, they can summarize these 50 routes as a single route. Router 4 also can summarize the 50 routes as a single route. Then 50 routes as a single route. So router 1 at the time, instead of 150, we'll be having 3 routes. With the 3 routes, I can reach 150 routes by default. That is called as summarization. Summarization is in a process of combining multiple individual routes into a single route in a large subnet. And EHRP supports for multi-layer protocol, supports IPv4 and IPv6. And there is the advanced mode of configuring EHRP, which is called as EHRP named mode. EHRP named. Instead of autonomous system, you can define the name like router EHRP Chandu, router EHRP Venkatesh. You can give a name. Then, but under the name mode, you are going to create different types of the address family for IPv4, address family for IPv6. So you are going to advertise all IPv4 routes in the IPv4, IPv6 routes, you are going to advertise them in the IPv6. So at the time, router 1 can communicate with IPv4 as well as IPv6, both. So that's why when I'm going for in my router, if I'm going for like a show, like what is my IP address? That's my Cisco command is coming like show, no. What is my, if I'm going for like, what is my IP address here? I have like both IPv4 and IPv6, both are coming. So how it is possible that my computer, I'm getting like 2 IP addresses? For my WAN connection, I have one public, and also like one, I have a IPv6 as well as IPv4. How Act Fibernet is using both multi-protocol communication. Sure, configured with AHRP named mode, which is a very advanced one than classical mode. So this type of configurations, everything is called as classical configuration, like traditional one. And the very advanced one of AHRP configuration is called named mode. You are going to create like address families for IPv4 and IPv6. And AHRP is going to support by default VLSM, variable length subnet mask. When your networks are being subnetted, even some networks are using like some, see in your LAN network, maybe yesterday someone asked me, sir, what is this VLSM? Some networks are using it slash 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. But these networks are using not slash 30. It is using with slash 30. All their requirements of hosts are with slash 30 they are using in the LAN. Maybe in my WAN they are using with a slash 30, or maybe in some another subnets are using with a slash 29, or maybe some are using slash 28 and so on. You have like different topology, different subnet masks we are using within the LAN. That type of networks are called as VLSM.